Every great team has that moment where the torch must be passed, where the legend who carried the team for years steps aside so the next generation can fly, where team decisions become less about feelings and more about building a smart plan to win championships. The Los Angeles Lakers are standing at that exact crossroad right now, and the decision the team faces isn't just about basketball plays. It's about changing what this team will look like for the next 10 years, while still respecting the work of someone who brought championship joy back to arena. Welcome to Lakers News Fan Report, your home for the newest news, inside analysis, and special breakdowns on our beloved Los Angeles Lakers, where we don't just say what's happening. We go deep into what it means for the purple and gold fans. Today, I need to walk you through a situation that's been growing all season. Something that involves the greatest player of his time. Something that connects directly to how the Lakers are building their chance to win championships from now on. And something that could completely change the look of this team in ways we haven't seen since the Kobe era ended. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share needs background, small details, and an understanding of where this team is going. Let me start by painting the picture of where the Lakers are right now, because the numbers tell a story you can't ignore. We're 15 wins and 4 losses after that strong performance against the New Orleans Pelicans on Sunday, sitting near the top of the Western Conference standings, with one of the most even rosters we've had in years. This isn't the struggling Lakers team that's been just barely getting into the playoffs. This is a real championship team that's playing together well on both offense and defense, playing at a high level all the time and showing the kind of deep bench you need to survive the hard 82-game season and go far in the playoffs. That record didn't happen by luck. It's the result of smart choices made by the team bosses, great coaching, and players stepping into bigger jobs with confidence. But here's what makes that 15-4 record really interesting from a numbers point of view. The Lakers have been doing great, even in games where their most famous player, someone who's been the main guy on every team he's played for during his 20-year career, hasn't been on the floor. We've won games without our veteran superstar. We've kept our offense working well without his playmaking. And we've shown strong defense that doesn't get worse when he's resting to manage his energy. That's not a knock on what he's done. It's admitting how this roster has changed and how other players have improved their games to fill any possible holes in the lineup. The team's success, even when one specific player isn't there, tells us something important about how to build a team and what the team bosses believe should happen next. The change of this Lakers team really started in February, when the team made what can only be called one of the most dividing trades in NBA history. Nobody saw it coming. The basketball world was completely shocked, and the first reactions were split between calling it brilliant and saying it would be a total failure. The Lakers sent Anthony Davis to the Dallas Mavericks in exchange for Luka Doncic, trading away a strong two-way big man who had been the defensive leader of the team for a 26-year-old offensive star who many think is the most skilled player in basketball. That trade completely changed what this team is, shifting from a team built around inside power to one built around guard skill and offensive creativity. Luka Doncic has been absolutely amazing since coming to Los Angeles, and I need to stress just how much his being here has changed this team. We're talking about an MVP candidate who's putting up superstar numbers in every category, who can make his own shot whenever he wants, who makes everyone around him better with his passing vision and basketball smarts, And who has that clutch gene that championship teams really need when the game is close at the end? Doncic, at 26 years old, is the future of this team for the next 10 years, and his coming has excited the fans in ways we haven't seen since the early days of the last championship team. When he has the ball in his hands, you feel like anything can happen, and that confidence spreads to the whole team. But Doncic isn't the only player who's done better than anyone expected this season. Austin Reeves has become the 2025 to 2026 season's most surprising breakout star, raising his game to levels that have made him a real third scoring option on a team that can win a championship. Reeves is scoring well, making smart choices with the basketball, defending different positions with effort, and showing the kind of improvement that proves the team was right to grow players from within, instead of always looking outside for answers. His chemistry with Doncic has been especially good, with the two of them creating a two-man game that's really hard for defenses to stop, because they can both shoot, pass, and create for themselves and others. Now, here's where we need to talk about the situation that's been causing lots of talk among media people, analysts, and Lakers fans everywhere. For the first time in his amazing 20-year career, LeBron James is not the main guy on the team he plays for. That's not a knock on his skills. It's just the truth of how you build a team when you add a player like Luka Doncic, who is in his very best years and needs the ball in his hands to be his most effective. James, at 41 years old, can still play great basketball. He's still averaging over 20 points per game when he's healthy. He still has that basketball IQ that lets him help the team win in many ways besides just scoring. But the team's order of importance has changed. The offensive plan has changed, and that creates a situation that needs honest thinking from everyone involved. Stephen A. Smith, who has had his arguments with James over the years, but is still one of the most respected voices in basketball media, recently gave his thoughts on the situation on his show. Smith said that James, even while dealing with sciatica problems that have hurt his left leg, can absolutely still play at a high level and give important minutes to a championship team. The analyst stressed that if James came back healthy, he could easily average above 20 points per game and give veteran leadership that's super valuable during playoff runs when experience matters a lot. Smith wasn't questioning James's basketball skills or saying he's finished. He was making a different point completely about how teams make decisions. According to Smith's analysis, if the Lakers had their choice, they would move James not because of how he plays, but because of his age and the team's long-term plan. Smith specifically said that the decision would be because James is 41 years old while Doncic is 26. Creating a situation where the team wants to build around young main players instead of managing the playing time of someone who's getting near the end of his career. Smith's quote was clear and direct, saying the Lakers would make that move because they've got Luka as the future, and they want young players on the court instead of someone who's 41 and probably starting his last few seasons. He stressed again and again that this idea of a decision wouldn't be about James' game. It would be only about age and the team's timeline. That analysis from Smith started a big debate because it makes us face uncomfortable truths about professional sports and team building. Being loyal and thankful for what someone did in the past matters a lot, and nobody can deny what James has meant to the Lakers team since coming back in 2018. He brought a championship in 2020 during the bubble. He's been a total professional. He's handled the LA media with class and he's helped teach younger players the whole time he's been here. But professional sports teams, in the end, have to make choices based on their chance to win championships and being able to stay good for a long time, not just on emotional feelings. When you have a 26-year-old MVP candidate like Doncic, who could be your main guy for the next 10 years, what the team cares about most naturally shifts toward making his best years count. The load management situation has become more and more important as this season has gone on. James did not play in the win against New Orleans on Sunday to rest his left leg, and everything suggests he'll miss many more games for the rest of the 2025 to 2026 season as the team carefully manages his playing time to keep him fresh for possible playoff runs. That's a totally reasonable plan for a 41-year-old player who's had different injuries during his career. But it also creates problems with who plays when and makes it hard to build steady teamwork when you're never really sure who will be available on any given night. From a team-building point of view, having a player who needs that much management of his playing time and takes up a big part of the salary cap becomes a problem when you're trying to build a championship team that can last. Let me be very clear about something, because I want to make sure nobody misunderstands what I think. LeBron James is one of the greatest basketball players ever. What he's done for the Lakers team has been huge, and he absolutely can still help a team win basketball games at the highest level. Pause. This isn't about disrespecting his story or saying he should retire right now. This is about having honest talks about which way the team should go, about admitting that team timelines sometimes need hard choices, and about seeing that the Lakers are in a special position where they have a real championship team built around a 26-year-old superstar who needs the ball in his hands and needs the team's money and plans focused on getting players who work well with him. The truth that Doncic is now the face of the team isn't a guess or an opinion. It's just seeing what's obvious to anyone watching Lakers basketball. When Luka is on the court, the offense goes through him. Plays are made to get the most out of his strengths, and the other players are picked to work well with what he does best. That makes sense, given his age, how good he is, and the fact that he is the Lakers' chance to win championships for the next many years. James has handled this change with amazing professionalism, showing he can change his game and take a different job than he's had for most of his career. That veteran leadership and being willing to give up something for the team to win is great and shows what kind of competitor he is, but being professional and able to change the basic math that team bosses have to think about when they're putting together a team to win championships. The Lakers have choices to make about how they give out playing time, how they share who takes shots, and how they build their team from now on. Having a 41-year-old player who needs his playing time managed and needs the ball in his hands to be his best creates natural problems when you're trying to make the most of a 26-year-old once-in-a-generation talent's best years. It's not about picking between two players based on who's better by themselves. It's about what fits the team's plan and which direction makes sense for when they can win championships. The money issues also can't be ignored when talking about building a team and which way the team should go. James costs a lot against the salary cap, and while he's absolutely earned every dollar through what he's done and how famous he is, that money could, in theory, be used to get other players who fit better with Doncic's timeline. Maybe that means going after a defensive-minded wing player who can guard the best perimeter players in playoff games. Maybe it means adding more shooters to surround Doncic with players who spread the floor and give him room to drive. Maybe it means putting money into front-court depth to replace what was lost when Davis was traded to Dallas. The point is that building a team needs hard choices about how to spend money, and sometimes the most logical basketball choices don't match what feels good emotionally. Here's what makes this situation especially interesting from my point of view as someone who's followed the Lakers closely for years. This team has always shown they're willing to make big moves when they think it helps their chance to win championships. Trading for Davis was big. Trading Davis for Doncic was even bigger. If the team bosses decide that moving on from James, whether through a trade or just letting his contract end, is the best way to keep being a championship team built around Doncic's best years, I wouldn't be surprised if they did it. This isn't the kind of team that lets feelings get in the way of smart thinking when it comes to fighting for championships. But let's also admit the other possibility where James stays with the Lakers for the rest of his career, accepts his smaller job with grace, and helps as a veteran who can still deliver in important moments while mainly teaching younger players and giving leadership. That's also a perfectly good way forward. That has happened before, with other all-time greats who finished their careers in supporting jobs with the teams they helped lead to championships. Tim Duncan spent his last seasons in San Antonio as a supporting piece instead of the main guy. Dirk Nowitzki did the same in Dallas. There's honor in that kind of career path, and it wouldn't make James's story any less. The hopeful view that I want to stress here is that no matter how the James situation works out, the Lakers are set really well to keep being successful. We have a 26-year-old MVP candidate in Luka Doncic, who's playing at a superstar level and could be our main guy for the next 10 years. We have Austin Reeves becoming a real third option, who's still on a contract that's good for the team. We have young players getting better in our system who could become important rotation pieces. And we have team bosses who've shown they're brave enough to make big moves when they think it helps our chance to win championships. That 15-4 record isn't luck. It's a sign of having many talented players who can help the team win basketball games. The key for Lakers fans is to enjoy what we're watching right now, which is a team changing from one time to another. We're seeing the passing of the torch from one of the greatest players ever to a young superstar who could create the next part of Lakers basketball. That change is always a little sad because it means admitting that even legends get older and their jobs naturally get smaller. But it's also exciting because we're seeing the start of something special, with Doncic and Reeves leading a team that's playing together, winning basketball games, and looking like a real team that can win a championship. Both things can be true at the same time. And as Lakers fans, we should accept the full, complicated truth of this moment, instead of seeing it in simple black and white terms. Whether James finishes his career in purple and gold or goes to another team for his last seasons doesn't change what he's already done with this team. That 2020 championship will always be part of Lakers history. And what he did during his second time in LA deserves thanks no matter how his time here finally ends. But we also have to be real about where the team is going and what choices are best for our chance to win championships from now on. Doncic is the present and the future, and the team's money and planning need to show that truth if we want to make the most of his best years and bring many championships while he's here. Whether James finishes his career here or somewhere else, I'm really excited about what the Lakers are building with Doncic and Reeves leading a team that's already 15-4 and looking like a real championship team. This team has always been about winning championships, and whatever choices the team bosses make, should be looked at through that lens, instead of just feelings. If you want the very latest breaking Lakers news and the most complete analysis you can find anywhere, you need to subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report right now. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you never miss an update, and share this video with other Lakers fans who need to understand the smart choices shaping our team's future. This is your home for everything purple and gold, and I want you as part of this community as we follow this team's championship journey together. Let's go, Lakers! Press that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you never miss a video, and share this with others.